Hello and welcome. If you are new to the channel, I am Ben360 Runner, and in this episode I'll be talking to you about my race plan, showing you my race prep from the morning and revealing my finishing time in a post-race review. So stay tuned and hopefully I'll be talking to you about a PB later on in this video. Today is Friday the 16th of September 2022. Just had a little glance at the watch just to check it is. But before we get into my race plans for tomorrow, please remember, if you're enjoying the video that you're watching and the previous videos you watched, like them. Make sure that if you want to see more of the videos that are coming up, you hit the subscribe button to be notified of future episodes that are coming up. So tomorrow, I've got a 10k race over at Draycote Water, which is one of the events put on by Run Through. If you've never done a Run Through event, I'll pop a link in the description box below. They are well worth checking out for reasonably priced races, different decent locations all across the United Kingdom. They're excellent, really well set up, really well organised, so check them out. So Draycote Water is somewhere I've raced before quite a few times. What makes this course pretty special is that it's a 5-mile loop around a body of water. It lends itself really well to training runs and long runs. It's got a nice visitor centre where you can get a coffee and a bacon sandwich after. We love a coffee and a bacon sandwich. They put a water stop on for the events at 5 miles at every loop. So if you're doing a longer distance, you know you're going to be getting water and you know when it's going to be coming up. Draycote Water is essentially a reservoir in a village just outside Rugby, in a village called Dunchurch. Rachel and I often go there to do easy runs, double buggy pushes with the girls. Just a nice way of us being able to train, have a day out and, you know, get the girls out enjoying themselves in the fresh air. We've got a nice little playground there. Anyway, won't bore you with that. So tomorrow, I have to be honest, I'm someone that sets goals and sometimes those goals are unrealistic for myself, and tomorrow I'm going to try and PB. I always try and PB. If we can't challenge ourselves, what's the point? So goal A is to PB. My current PB is 38 minutes and 16 seconds at 10k, which was set a couple of years ago at Draycote Water. Now, the reason the PB might be unrealistic for me tomorrow, in my mind, I'm still coming back from an injury, which was in my knee that kept me out for majority of last year. Since then, I've done 2 10k races, one in July, which was a hilly 10k at Draycote midweek series, where I got 39 minutes and 12 seconds. And then I most recently did Solihull 10k, another run for an event, where I finished 9th overall, first in my age category, with 39 minutes dead. So I've seen improvements, and whilst, you know, I've been training for tomorrow's race and I've felt the strongest I have for a while, I've done some good workouts. Most recently a 6 by 1,000 metre workout, which I filmed, episode 3, in the description box below if you want to watch it. Remember, like, subscribe. So goal B would be to further improve on my 2 most recent outings. So I've got goal A, PB, goal B, just to improve. Exciting stuff. Hopefully we can meet one of those goals, but my plan is to try and pace for a PB somewhere around 38 minutes. So I'm going to aim for a pace of average around about 6 minutes and 5 seconds per mile. Don't know what that is in kilometres. Don't work in kilometres. Never have done, never will. Knowing the course, there are a few challenges. So at the start, you go on a little out and back just to make it the 6.2 miles. There's a little climb at the start, which I'm going to be mindful not to be going too quick and using unnecessary energy. So I'm hoping to stay nice and comfortable, just slower than target pace, to hope that I can get up the hill and down the hill the other side without getting the heart rate elevated too high and going into my anaerobic threshold too quickly. I then like to settle into a nice rhythm around target race pace or slightly quicker, maybe to claw back a few of those seconds I lost in the first mile. But I'm going to be mindful. it could be lonely if I'm running on my own, so I need to keep checking the watch, but make sure that if I am in with a pack, I've got someone to pull me along or chasing me down, so I can just keep a nice steady focus on the pace. This will be the plan for the majority of the race when I get into the last mile. And I'm hoping there, really, I've given myself a good chance to be able to dig in. So I know by this time whether I'm in for target A or target B. The biggest challenge with Draycote water is the wind. Depending on which way the wind's blowing, and this might sound a bit silly, I won't know until I get there. It can be a headwind, which is pretty horrible on the last mile, or it could be a tailwind. If it's a headwind, I'm going to have to get my guts out and my determination, and I'm really going to have to push on, get the arms pumping, and work through the pain that I'll get from the lactic in my legs. But you know what? I feel ready for that challenge. So, on to tomorrow.
Hello, good morning. It is race day of the Draycote 10k. Time is 7:06 and it's a nice day. Just look out the window, looks lovely. Some great views of Birmingham city centre if you can make them out there, just in the distance where we are. So yeah, just gonna go downstairs, get the girls up, I'm all dressed, bags all packed, have some breakfast, have a bit of coffee, go and pick our friend up, head over to Draycote water and see what happens.
So we're just on the way over to Draycote water, just got in the car. My God, it is cold today. It is, well, say cold, 8 degrees. I can't remember the last time it was 8 degrees, but...
Daddy, why you got 2 coats?
I've got 2 coats on, sweetheart, because it's bloody cold. It is freezing. Winter is here. So we just arrived at Draycote water. The weather is perfect. Doesn't feel too windy. Gonna pop and get the race numbers, do a warm up, have a look round, and see what happens. Good morning, Monday the 19th of September. The race was 2 days ago, so welcome to the race review. I'm going to tell you how I got on. Just out on a nice recovery run from the race on Saturday. Now, I mean, the legs feel fine, so feeling pretty good. The race itself, first of all, hands up, I need to apologise. I did do a warm-up, but I didn't get time to film it, so I can't show you any footage of that, but I am going to do an episode. If you're interested in it, drop some comments in to let me know, and I'll do a quick episode all about my pre-race warm-up, how it works, what I do, what I'm going through in my mind, all that sort of stuff. Anyway, on to the race. So we arrived about 45 minutes to an hour before. Went and got the race packs, got myself sorted out, went to find the facilities, if you know what I mean, and felt really well prepared after my warm-up. I told you about the fact that one of the challenges of Draycote water was the wind, and actually it turned out that the wind was there. It was a bit of a light wind, but on the last mile it was a bit of a tailwind, so it was quite nice. It was looking good, signs were there, and slight change to the normal route at Draycote water. You basically did about a mile before you got to that hill that I was talking about. So I made a decision on the spot that I was going to go out fairly quick in the first mile, but nothing silly.
Didn't want to raise the heart rate too high, so I think I went through about a mile to a mile and a half with my heart rate feeling pretty comfortable. Did the first mile in about, I think it was 5:55, 5 minutes 55 for the first mile, and then went into that little hill. What I've certainly learned over the last few years about hills is to change my running cadence. So I don't want to be bringing the knees up too high. I try and shorten my steps and not really expend too much energy on the hills. So went through the hill, driving the arms, got a nice rhythm, climbed the hill quite comfortably, and then once I got to the top of the hill, it's really important, I think, to go up and over the hill. So I went up and over the top of the hill and then sort of took the brakes off and felt pretty good. So by this time I was sort of running alone. It was quite lonely, as I say, it wasn't a closed road event. There wasn't a lot of support. The field strung out quite quickly, but I knew that if I stuck to my race plan and took my time and was patient, that I had a really good chance of going to this PB that I was looking for. So miles ticked off. I think I went through the first 3 miles at around about bang on 6 minutes and 5 seconds average pace, which is what I was aiming for. I put some stats up on the screen and you can have a look at what I did for the first 3 miles. So pretty comfortable. There were a couple of challenging hills where the wind was against you, and at this time I had a couple of people on my tail, but I let them sort of go off, not to get too distracted by what they were doing again. So going well halfway through. With the plan itself, I wanted to make sure that going into the last mile I'd given myself enough room to be able to try and get this PB. So I knew I wanted to be average pace for the whole thing at about 6:05. I think I went into the last mile at about 6 minutes and 7 seconds, and I really had to dig in, to be fair, at that point. So you start thinking about things. You know, I'd already committed to making this video, didn't want to look like a dick and completely flop and not be able to get where I needed to be. I thought about Matt Rees, the Welsh runner. He's got some really good content over there, by the way, go and check him out. Really inspirational stuff. On Thursday he dipped below 15 minutes for 5k. Whew, rapid. So you have a think about it and you start thinking about all the achievements that people have got and try and use that to try and push you along a bit. I'm coaching a lady at the moment over in Northern Ireland, Stephanie. Hello Stephanie if you're watching. And she did Belfast half marathon yesterday, and Thursday afternoon I had a chat with her and she was really nervous, and I thought to myself, you know, I'd given her some advice that I really believed in, and talked about pace strategy, talked about mental determination, obviously digging in deep when it needs to be done. I thought if I'm giving that advice out, I really need to listen to it myself. So I thought about what I'd said to her. She absolutely smashed her target yesterday, by the way, at the Belfast half. Congratulations to her. Over 5 minutes on a PB, which is amazing results. So yeah, I dug in, thinking about all these inspirational people, inspirational stories, people doing what they need to do. And, you know, it hurts. 10Ks, 5Ks, they hurt. But that's what we're doing. We love the kick that we get, we love the feeling we get, and I was on a massive high afterwards, because I am pleased to say that for the first time I dipped under 38 minutes for a 10k, whoop whoop, and actually it took about 28 seconds off that PB I was talking about, which I think was 38:16, set at Draycote Water, as I say, a couple of years back. I now have a PB at 10k of 37 minutes and 37 seconds, average pace of 6 minutes and 3 seconds per mile, and you know what, I feel really good for it. So I am absolutely delighted with that. The big thing for me was staying consistent with strength work, core work. I know I need to get better at core work, I know I need to do more of it, but you know, we're busy people, families get in the way of doing all the things you want to do, but you know, you have to think about your training and think, what can I do better? I try and get 1 to 2 sessions in a week. One of them is normally a rep session. You saw my 6x1000 metre workout the other day. If you haven't checked out that video, go and check it out. There's plenty more to come from me. I am March the 5th, 2023, Cambridge Half Marathon. I am going to commit to a training block, which I am going to record week by week, training diary, post episodes about it. It's going to be called the Cambridge Project, and I'm going for sub 80 at Cambridge Half Marathon, 5th of March 2023. So if you're interested in seeing that and looking at the training I do for that event, remember, subscribe to my page, hit the bell to be notified of the episodes, which hopefully will come out weekly. I'm going to give you a lot of training insight, all free of charge, of course, because I'm a nice guy. And the aim is to hopefully inspire people to sign up for a race, commit to a target, and really go after it. You've got to challenge yourself. If you're not challenging yourself in your training, you can't expect to get better. There's a link in my description for my coaching services. I'm getting some really good results from people, so I'm happy to help you if you reach out. But tune in for the Cambridge Project, which will be starting mid-October, and hopefully, like this weekend, PBing at 10k for the first time, under 38 minutes. We can go under 80 minutes for the half marathon for the first time. So stay tuned for that. Guys, I hope you've enjoyed what you've seen today, and you're looking forward to seeing some more insights into my training. If you are, please remember to like and subscribe to the channel. Please leave some comments in the comment section. It helps me get the word out there. Like the page, subscribe to it, share it with your friends, and hopefully I will see you again soon.